Hey everyone, it's Sandra, and today I wanted to do a quick, well actually it's not very quick because it's a talk through get ready with me video in which I am using the Covergirl Ready Set Gorgeous foundation. I also created this eye makeup look with the Too Faced Semi-Sweet Chocolate Bar palette, which is also something that you guys wanted to see. This is just one of my everyday eyeshadow looks that I like to do to work. I love warm brown eyeshadows. It's my safety net when it comes to makeup. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you want to see how I achieved this look, just keep watching. Just going to put my hair back, and as you can see, my face is a lot lighter than my neck at the moment, and the CoverGirl foundation in shade 205 matches pretty well. I wish it was a little bit more yellow, but it's the best match that I could get in the range, and this formula is great. So I'm going to start by just putting a little bit of it on the back of my hand, and I start by using my fingers, and I start by dabbing it on the areas that I need more coverage. So that tends to be around my mouth and a little bit on my cheeks and just generally the center of my face. So I start by spreading it out with my fingers, and then I use a damp beauty blender to blend it all in. And don't worry about the shade looking too light right now. You will see what I do to get it all to look nice and blended. And I still have some foundation left on the back of my hand, and again I'm dabbing it on kind of like a concealer on the areas where I have any scarring. And then I blend out with the Beauty Blender again. As you can see, the coverage is really nice. It's medium but buildable. You can build it up to medium full. I didn't want to use any face concealer in this video because I wanted to show you how you can build it up. You can just get away with using this foundation all over without needing any extra concealer. So I still have some foundation left on the back of my hand, and I'm just using my fingers to kind of use it as concealer on some areas where I have a few blemishes peeking through. And then this is the Sephora 57 airbrush concealer brush. I'm just using that to blend out the edges of the areas where I use this stuff as a concealer. Alright, so next up for the under eye area, I'm using the Mer Concealer in shade number 2 medium. This is what it looks like. It's pretty light. I'm using my ring finger to apply it. I'm just applying a tiny amount just in that dark area in my inner corner, and I'm blending it out with my finger. I like this concealer for daytime a lot. It has SPF in it too, so it does tend to flash back a little bit in photos, but I really love it for daytime. It's really emollient, it feels nice, and it doesn't take as much work. Now I'm going to warm up my complexion, and I'm using the Soleil Tan De Chanel by Chanel, and I'm using a Sephora 55 airbrush brush to apply it, and this will warm up my complexion to get it to match my neck. It will also give me a nice bronzy look. I'm just applying it all over the perimeters of the face, and I'm building it up very little by little. I don't have a lot of product on the brush. I'd rather just build it up in really sheer layers. And as you can see, it's starting to come together. Now to set everything, I'm using the NARS Light Reflective Pressed Translucent Powder. This is a really great powder because it doesn't add any extra coverage, but it does help lock everything in. It helps diffuse the look of pores a little bit, but at the same time it doesn't add any coverage and it doesn't make you look cakey or anything. So I'm using a MAC 138 brush to apply this, and I like it because it doesn't actually alter the finish of the foundation. It doesn't make things look more matte. It just still makes everything look like skin. Now moving on to a little bit more bronzer, I am using Too Faced Sun Bunny, and I'm using a MAC 187 brush. Sun Bunny is a beautiful, beautiful, pretty dark bronzer, and to me it's like a bronzer, blush, and highlighter all in one. I really love it, but it's easy to go overboard with it. That's why I like to use a 187, because it gives a pretty sheer application and you have more control. But as you can see, it just gives the nicest glow to the cheeks. It's really, really beautiful. I'm using my Old Faithful, the Urban Decay eyeshadow primer. and the Too Faced Semi-Sweet Chocolate Bar palette. It is such a pretty palette, and Too Faced were kind enough to send it to me. I like it a lot. I just really wish the mirror was bigger. I find this whole big branding really unnecessary, and if the whole thing was a mirror, it would just be so much nicer, so much more convenient. These shadows are beautiful. The color selection is awesome. It's so useful. It's so easy for every day. It's kind of a no-brainer. Everything you want is in here if you are a fan of warm brown eyeshadows, but they do smell like cocoa powder. So I personally love it. I like chocolate, but I know that there are some people that don't like chocolate or don't like scented things, so just be aware of that. I'm going to start by applying this really pretty light shade. This is called Coconut Cream. I'm applying it with a MAC 227 all over the lid to get a good base, and I'm applying it underneath on the brow bone. Then I'm going in with the color Mousse. This is a really pretty crease color. It's matte, and I'm using a MAC 224 brush. Then I'm just taking the color Bonbon mixed with the color Butter Pecan. I mix them together and I use them all over the lid. This is a MAC 217 brush. Just gives a really nice sheen to the eye. They're shimmery, but it's a very subtle shimmer. It's really soft and pretty for daytime. And just for a little bit of extra definition, I'm taking the shade Truffled. It's right here. And I'm mixing it in with the Mousse shade. And I'm using a Hakuhodo brush. And I'm just using this darker mix of browns in the outer corner. Just laying the color in the outer corner. And I'm taking it on the lower lash line as well. Then to kind of finish everything off, I'm taking the Mousse shade with the MAC 224 brush again, and just going over everything to make sure things are nice and blended. So the eyeshadow is done. I'm going to use a little bit of eyeliner. I am using a dark brown eyeliner. This is the waterproof eyeliner from Dior. Messily smudge it into my upper lash line. This look looks really pretty with winged eyeliner as well. I'm just going to take my hair down and do my eyebrows. I'm using a Makeup Forever brow brush and Clarins eyebrow pencil in the color dark brown. Just brushing my brows through and gently filling them in with the Clarins pencil. Finishing off with brow gel. This is the Anastasia brow gel in the color Granite. And mascara. I am curling my lashes. These are the Shu Uemura eyelash curler, and I'm going to be using Lancome Hypnose Drama mascara. Do you ever find that your eye makeup looks crazy for most of the time, and then you put on your mascara and everything is just all right in the universe? Makes everything so much better every time. And I'm using a little bit of it on my lower lash line as well. And most of the makeup is done. I do want a little bit more of a hint of color on the cheeks, and I'm using Burberry Tangerine blush. This is just the most subtle, beautiful, peachy blush ever. I love it. Just applying a tiny bit. For the lips, I am using Milani lip liner in Nude. And this is the Hourglass lipstick in the color Grace. And I've really been into gloss lately, so I'm topping it off with Buxom lip cream in White Russian. And that is it. That is the finished look. I hope you enjoyed it and you got to see how I use the Covergirl foundation as well as the Too Faced Semi-Sweet Chocolate Bar palette, which are both items that you guys wanted to see in a video. So hope you enjoyed this and I will see you next time. Bye.